And then I asked him to pull up on the left somewhere safe. On this occasion, he follows MSM routine very nicely and pulls up on the left very nicely.
Thank you. I would like you to drive on when you're ready.
And then I asked him to move off again when it's safe to do so. This is where he picks up two minor mistakes. First one, what he does, he doesn't get high enough on the biting point and he rolls back, as you can see. So this is a minor mistake. So the second mistake he makes is he moves off in third gear and stalls. Luckily no one was there, so he didn't really obstruct anyone. So he picks up another minor mistake there. Now this minor mistake could be under gears section or move off section. So I'm gonna put it down under moving off again. And when I ask him to move off again, as you can see, he looks over his shoulder. So he does look over his shoulder there, but he doesn't move off. So that's not really his final check. So he keeps looking in the mirror, and then when it's safe, he moves off without checking in the blind spot. So some of you might think he did look over his shoulder. Yes, absolutely right, he did. But he didn't move off at that time. So he should have looked over his shoulder again, because that should be.
At the end of the road, turn left. So that's the end of independent driving. I'll give you directions as normal now.
And then I asked him to turn left at the end of the road. On this junction, he approaches a little bit faster and his front goes slightly over the line. So he picks up another minor mistake on this junction for a response to road markings. And then I asked Paul to take a left turn at the end of the road. And the speed limit on the new road will be 30 miles an hour. Again, a very good observation on this junction. So he waits for the right gap and then he pulls out. So I'm not really gonna give him any mistake. On approach to the pedestrian crossing, he does not check any mirrors at all. There was a pedestrian crossing the road, so he needed to know what's happening behind him. So he picks up a minor mistake for not checking mirrors before changing his speed.
after the traffic lights, I would like you to turn left towards Bradford.
And then I asked him to turn left towards Bradford. And the speed limit on the new road will be 40 miles an hour. At the end of the road, there is give way, so make sure you do observe on the right hand side, like Powell is. So he had a very good look before he entered, which is brilliant.
Not two mistakes.
Can you tell me which two mistakes or?
Right.
So do you know? Do you think you've passed or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you've passed?
What do you think?
No, you haven't.
No.
Nope. There were a couple of reasons for that, really. Now, if you remember when you were coming up to roundabout, when I asked you to follow the signs for Putsi.
Mm-hmm.
So before the roundabout, speed limit changed to 30, and still you were almost 38 miles an hour when you were approaching the roundabout. Just before the roundabout. So that is one of the serious mistakes, because when you're in 30 zone, you can't exceed 30.
Mm-hmm.
You can be below 30, but you can't exceed 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the maximum. Okay? And just because your speed was so fast, you didn't put any signal on there for the third exit. There's absolutely no signal. So I didn't give you a serious mistake for that, because it didn't really affect anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I've marked that as minor mistake. Okay. So that overspeeding is one mistake. And the second mistake I've given you is for not really observing in your blind spot when you pulled up on the right.
No, I'm watching always.
The left blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, left blind spot. Just before moving off, you didn't check the left blind spot. You kept saying police car is parking,
Mm-hmm.
you remember?
Yeah.
But you were looking in this mirror.
Yeah.
You didn't look over the left shoulder.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's how you need to check.
Not just.
So when you're moving off from left, you're checking your right blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
Once or twice you missed. But you're okay. But when you pulled up on the right and you're moving off, you should check your left blind spot. Yeah. So what is your final look when you move off?
So the final.